We are set up for a good finish here in the fourth quarter. New Mexico leads Utah State 14-10. With Randy Cross, Rashana Lee, I'm Andrew Catalan, our producer Bruce Clark, director John Coleman, our entire CBS Sports Network crew ready for a big finish here in Albuquerque as both these teams control their own destiny to win the Mountain Division.
And the key for New Mexico in this fourth quarter is yards on the ground and clock.
On 2nd and 9. And Kyler Fackrell makes another tackle, bringing down Gibson. A lot going on today in college football. We have an update with Brent Stover back in New York.
The SEC on CBS to open the third. We've had 4 straight touchdown drives. This one for the Hogs. Cody Walker ties the game. Arkansas, Ole Miss, 31-all late third, guys.
All right, good one there. Thank you very much, Brent. Arkansas beat Ole Miss last year 30-0. So different story this time around. On 3rd and 8, Apodaca pump fakes. 2 flags are down. Apodaca looking deep. It's deflected and caught. Gambling off the deflection, but let's wait and see what the flags are.
It sure looked like holding against New Mexico. At least 1, if not 2 holdings.
There are 2 fouls in the play, both on the offense. Holding number 51 and number 76. 10-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
So the center, Mahina, and the right tackle, Romine, both called for holding, and that wipes out an incredible catch by Gamblin.
The 76 right in front of you, and back of him was where the center, 51, Mahina, was holding. Deflected off the hands. That's just pure luck. That's great concentration. But you know what? Those are the kind of plays you got to have when you pull off a game like this, like New Mexico's trying to do.
And Randy, we've seen Fackrell be a lot more active here in the second half. He was the one that was basically tackled on that holding call. So following the penalties, it's 3rd and 18. Apodaca with time, looking deep, and it's intercepted. It's Sinners on the return for Utah State. Sinners inside New Mexico territory and still going. What moves by Sinners? Looking like his dad, Larry. His 3rd interception of the season, and Utah State set up with great field position.
Well, Apodaca got kind of a little full of himself. I think he got some false confidence off that deflection on the last play. Look where Sinners is sitting in the middle of the field, deep center position from his safety spot. He had that ball and tracked it the entire way. That ball should have never been thrown in that area. And his dad, one of the great versatile running backs in the NFL the last 20, 30 years. A little bit of that skill rubbed off on his son.
9th interception of the season for the Utah State defense. And now the Aggies with the ball at the New Mexico 31-yard line. It's Mays. And not much doing for Devontae Mays today.
You know, Andrew, this is an opportunity for Utah State, a huge opportunity for Matt Wells and company to grab some serious momentum and to sort of snuff out any thoughts of a big upset here by New Mexico. Get the ball. You've gotten the field position again. Stick this ball in the end zone, get the lead, and sort of try to remind New Mexico of their place.
Once again, Mays is thrown back. Cody Baker, the true freshman, leading the charge for New Mexico. D'Avanzo also in on the tackle.
Well, so far for that defense, it's been their place has been in the backfield. See 53, Baker, he cuts off. He's there. He's contained. He does a beautiful job of contain, and then the rest of the defense rallies back to him.
Bob Davie 10-1 in New Mexico when leading after 3 quarters. Utah State 2 for 10 today on 3rd downs. It's 3rd and 15. Myers, and that pass is caught by Roberts, but he is short of a first down by about 3 yards. So now decision time for Matt Wells. Does he put 3 on the board, or does he go for it? And he's sending Brock Warren, the kicker, out with 12:15 to go.
Yeah, with this field position, you're going to be kicking from about the 42-yard line or so, 41, 42-yard field goal. Smart. Take the points. Draw within 1. Take advantage of that field position and make that field position equal points.
Officially a 42-yard attempt. Warren's kick on the way, and it's good. He's now 2 for 2 today and 8 for 8 on the season. And we've got a 1-point game in Albuquerque. 11:47 to go. Ten straight points for the Aggies. They now trail by 1 as we take a look at today's Chick-fil-A fan cam. One of the fans that's here that you won't see is a guy you may have heard of before, Brian Urlacher. New Mexico great is in the house, hiding somewhere in one of the suites.
How would you like to have been on a punt coverage team on an opponent when they came in here to play New Mexico when Brian Urlacher was returning punts?
I would not have liked to have done that. No. So once again for Utah State, it's Brock Warren kicking off, and Rashawn Ali tells us down on the sideline that she does not see Jake Thompson out there. Thompson is their kickoff specialist. He kicked off earlier in the game, but we have not seen him since. So Warren, again, whose leg is not as big as Thompson, kicks off this one with the wind, which certainly helps, and it's Wiggins on the return. And Wiggins lost the ball. Ball is loose.
It's Utah
3
State
at the 25. Aggies have it. A huge mistake by Wiggins. Remember, he fumbled a punt in the first half, but recovered, and here on the kickoff, he loses the football.
Oh, you've got to have the points of that ball, tuck it away high and tight. It isn't high and tight. The helmet hits it down, seems like about waist high when that ball gets hit by the helmet right there, and it just pops it out. If that thing is being held up in the armpit, it's not even hit.
Was that fumble recovered by the return team?
And Randy, the man who forced that fumble was Andrew Rodriguez, who fumbled a punt earlier, came back, made the catch for the touchdown, and now forces a fumble. Wow, and they are saying that the New Mexico offense is out here. They're saying that, well, Matt Wells is getting an explanation, which we could certainly use as well.
The previous play of a fumble recovered by the return team is under further review.
A little confusion out there as every official on the field ruled that it was Utah State football.
Well, remember, when you're talking about reviewing possession on a fumble like this, it's got to be something that's absolutely clear that the call was wrong and that the ball was recovered by the other team. Now, if the ball's right there, now right there, it looks like it's been recovered by Utah State. The ball comes out, helmet on the ball by Rodriguez. Ball comes out. And if you keep running it, you'll see the ball kind of squirt out. It'll move again. It's still being wrestled for down here. Now it's important. You can't tell who has possession there. At least I can't tell who has possession there.
And the big thing.
And that's critical in this replay.
Exactly. But here's the other big thing. They initially ruled that it was Utah State football. But now they're saying it's New Mexico ball. And because that was the call on the field, you'll have to have conclusive evidence in order to overturn this.
Maybe this angle is different. You see Centers 37 is right there on the ball. But the ball keeps moving. Look at it. It's still moving. It's still moving.
After further review, the call on the field stands. First down, New Mexico.
So they're saying it's New Mexico football.
I mean, it looked like Centers had it, but that ball was pulled away. It kept moving, and New Mexico ended up recovering it.
They're saying Anaya recovered. Well, basically, the confusion was that initially on the field, everyone pointed Utah State football. And they're saying at the end of the play,
including the guys in the striped shirts.
Exactly. At the end of the play, they changed it to New Mexico football. So that's a huge break for the Lobos. And now here's Jordan with some room to run, but there is a flag down back at the 20-yard line. Well, you think about some of the breaks today that have gone New Mexico's way. Add that to the list.
And this will be a gigantic penalty.
Holding. Offense, number 51, 10-yard penalty. Still first down.
Remember the deflection and the two holdings on the deflection that turned into a touchdown. That was called back, and now this big run is called back.
It offsets a 17-yard gain for Lamar Jordan. Utah State still has not been called for a penalty today.
So now you're in this kind of an offense, and it's 1st and 20. Normally, you'd want to get your penalty back with first down and then work on the first down after that.
Jordan again. And he is brought down by Centers, who's having a big second half. The interception and now the tackle.
Centers doing a good job, but Marwin Evans, the corner, doing a very nice job of stretching that play out. That's why Centers could come up from that safety position and make that nice support like that.
Randy, would you end the Apodaca experiment the rest of the way? Would you just keep Jordan out there?
There's more of a running pop to this team with Jordan on the field.
It's Gibson on 2nd and 20, and it will be 3rd and long. And we'll see if Apodaca comes out. Nick Vigil makes the tackle for the Aggies.
Tackled by number 41.
Apodaca has his helmet on the sideline, but Jordan is staying out there. And that's different from what we've seen so far today with these 3rd down passing downs. We've seen Apodaca come out, but he's just 2 of 4 for 7 yards. So Jordan stays out.
Now, when you're talking about 3rd and 14, 3rd and 15, you've got to, if you throw the ball, it's got to be up to the receiver to get the first down, because you're not going to throw it far enough down the field for a first down.
Jordan cuts it upfield across the 30. So they run it on 3rd and long. Filiunga makes the stop, and New Mexico will bring out the punt team.
Well, how big was that penalty, though, on first down? With
Huge.
that nice run, you get that penalty. And there is a bright side to this 3rd down call, though, on 3rd and 14. You get about half of that, if not a little bit more than that, but it keeps this clock churning. Everything keeps moving. Very important. No return here, and you get this ball kicked out of bounds.
Rogers punts it away. Rodriguez backtracks to his own 26. Does have one punt return touchdown this year. Rodriguez up across the 40 with 8:59 to go in the 4th quarter. Well, a sad week here in Albuquerque as Stu Walker, the longtime Lobo public address announcer, passed away on Monday from cancer. He started at the university in 1995, worked the past 2 decades as the voice of many sports here at New Mexico, including football and basketball. Stu Walker was 61 years old. $8:59 to go, 4th quarter, and New Mexico's lead over Utah State is 1. With College Football Hall of Famer Randy Cross and Rashawn Ali, I'm Andrew Catalan, and Utah State will have good field position. That's been a theme today. They'll start this drive at their own 44-yard line.
I can't remember more than a couple of possessions they didn't have great field position.
Myers throwing on 1st down, and it's dropped by Cranston Jones. Myers threw it right to the senior corner, and Jones dropped it.
Wow. I'm with you. That ball was just right to him. I mean, you look at Jones standing. The receiver keeps going. The ball comes right at him.
Jones has 5 career interceptions. This is his 33rd start today, the most on the team, but not able to come up with that pick. Myers keeps it himself, tackled by Donnie White from behind, and it will be 3rd down.
Another nice job, though, by this New Mexico defense of getting that penetration, disrupting that junction point.
Aggies have been brutal today on 3rd downs, just 2 for 11.
Look for that penetration. We've seen a lot of it. Last play, that was Garrett Hughes.
Lobos showing pressure. They back off. Myers has time. Over the middle, and it's caught for a 1st down by Braylon Roberts. Good job by Myers to see Roberts break free and pick up 14.
Nice poise by Myers, too. You get that double A-gap look with the blitz, and they're bailing into coverage. Myers never even flinches and just steps up and delivers that ball nicely.
Josh Heupel told us this week he loves the competitive spirit of the sophomore Roberts, and he said you'll see a little bit more of him this week. Had 9 catches on the season coming into today. Hunt, and Cox gets him at the 37-yard line with 7.5 minutes to go in the 4th quarter.
No reason for a sense of urgency here from Utah State. Be efficient, be clean, don't make any mistakes. You don't want any of those holding penalties to back you up. You're again blessed if you're Matt Wells and company with some good field position.
Just 57 yards rushing today for Utah State. Myers trying to add to that total, and he will. It's actually Hobbs, the backup quarterback, who comes in, and he runs for a 1st down. A gain of 18 for Hobbs.
Oh, some nice stuff, mixing it up, and Hobbs pulls it out on that option and just decides to take it inside. And the defense looked shocked once they figured out the quarterback had the ball.
So Utah State in the red zone, 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line, and Hobbs stays out there. Drops the snap, ball is loose.
New Mexico might have it.
And they do, the Lobos recover. Daniel Henry recovers the fumble. And New Mexico with a huge defensive play as Hobbs, well, he just dropped the snap.
He never had a handle on it, and Henry dives in there. Look at the way he used his body to position Hobbs away from the ball. Watch his body come in. He turns his back and his hip, and Hobbs had body position to start with, but Henry took that away, and that's why he ended up with the ball.
2nd turnover today by Utah State with 6:32 to go. And Jordan and Randy, they were moving the ball with Myers. They bring in Hobbs. He's cold off the sideline, and he drops the snap. And
well, he didn't look too cold on that first run.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. But I don't know. You have a rhythm going with your starter. You change it by bringing in Hobbs, and he loses the football.
What's incumbent upon New Mexico here? I mean, you talk about a 1st down or 2. A 1st down or 2, more than 2, darn near win you the game. You got to start burning timeouts here in about a minute or 2.
2nd and 9 for the Lobos. Presley up the middle. And we're going to go back to New York for an update with Brent Stover.
Andrew LaShawn Daniels for Iowa with a touchdown, and with 6 minutes to play, they are back in the red zone. In fact, they just scored again. 35-20, Iowa leads Indiana. And over on CBS, back and forth game, Chad Kelly, Laquan Treadwell, Arkansas, Ole Miss deadlocked at 38.
All right, good stuff. Great day of college football. Bren, of course, it'll be capped tonight with the game on CBS between LSU and Alabama. 3rd and 8 for New Mexico. They're 2 for 11 on 3rd downs. Jordan throws right, incomplete. Short of the intended target. Harton Johnson, and a very quick 3-and-out for the New Mexico offense.
And it takes this ball game for New Mexico and it puts it right back into Cosgrove's defense's lap. That defense has carried the whole game. Bob Davie knows his defense one more time has to come up with a big stop against Utah State.
They only took 1:30 off the clock with that possession. Rodriguez back deep. Good kick by Rogers. Rodriguez fields it going backwards at the 23. Rodriguez stays on his feet, then finished to the ground.
He turned back into a T-bone.
Michael Walsh, the special teams tackle. Big finish coming in Albuquerque. New Mexico with a 14-13 lead on Utah State. Time now for Do Game Day Right, brought to you by LG. And well, tomorrow is a busy day for the New Mexico football team. Win or lose, they'll be lifting at 2:45. Start thinking about Boise State at 5:30, and then they'll put the helmets on for an hour. That's tomorrow on a Sunday. No day off here for the Lobos.
No 24-hour rest on a win either. That's
a good
inside
point.
of the window.
So Utah State will start this drive at their own 22-yard line, trailing by 1. Myers throws, and it's incomplete. Brandon Swindle, the intended target, at 2nd and 10.
It's really been something so far. You know, Coach Cosgrove, the defensive coordinator for New Mexico, they've pretty much taken the sharp option off the table, the deep option off the table for most of this game.
Some movement on the line, and a flag comes in, and a false start against Utah State. That's their first penalty today.
False start. Offense, number 76, 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Jake Simonich called for the false start. And again, the Mountain Division, Air Force, Utah State, and New Mexico all control their own destiny to win the division. Which one of these teams will keep destiny in their own hands, New Mexico or Utah State?
Bad timing on that first penalty. Backing them up.
2nd and 15. Myers underneath to Hunt. Room to run. Lawan Hunt off to the races and still going down the sideline and finally stopped inside the 25. A gain of 61, but a flag all the way back at the 24-yard line.
It was again one of those little screens again. We saw one go for 63, and then Hunt takes that one. But that flag was back by the line of scrimmage.
Holding. Offense, number 76, 10-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
Wow, that wipes out the play to Hunt. It's the 2nd straight penalty on Utah State after they had not committed one the entire game, and both of them go on Jake Simonich, the right tackle.
He's right behind the goalpost there. Simonich, 76. Working right there. You see he gets a whole handful of Langford.
Didn't have a penalty for 55 minutes. Now on back-to-back plays, and that one wipes off a huge game.
Timing could have been worse, but I doubt it.
Second down and 18. Myers wide open over the middle and incomplete. Houston had so much room to run, but Myers and Houston could not connect.
There was no one around Houston. That was right behind the linebackers, in front of the safeties. A giant dead zone in the defense. See, there's no defenders around Houston. This ball is just overthrown.
So it's 3rd and 18 with 4:11 to go. Hunt in at running back. Low snap. Myers spins away from one. Doesn't get away from another. Taylor Timmons with the sack.
Well, they only rushed 4. Watch the twists and turns up front and the immediate pressure and then more pressure. Beautiful job by the 4 defensive linemen. They had no help from a blitz. It was 5 offensive linemen on 4 defensive linemen, and the guys with the least numbers won.
3.5 sacks now for Timmons this year. Dalton punting from his own end zone. Wiggins lets it bounce. It takes a Utah State hop all the way to the 31-yard line. So a good punt by Dalton. Utah State's defense needs to come up big when we come back.
College football on CBS Sports Network is being brought to you by Icy Hot Smart Relief TENS Therapy. Turn off pain. And by Toyota. Let's go places.
Back in Albuquerque, and don't go anywhere tonight. More football action continues as the USF Bulls head to Greenville to take on American Conference foe East Carolina at 7:30 Eastern. AAC football presented by Geico, only on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.
Well, here's an opportunity for New Mexico, getting the ball back with 3:17. Can you go away with it?
All 3 timeouts for the Aggies.
Can you eat the clock and make them burn those timeouts?
Presley. And Presley is tripped up by Vigil. Utah State immediately calls timeout.
Something about this just makes you feel that for some reason Bob Davies' defense is going to get it back on them again. They've answered time after time today. Matt Wells' offense has seen a defense that, I'm not sure if it ever surprises an opponent when you play extremely well, but this defense from New Mexico has had an answer for almost everything that Utah State has tried.
Last week, Utah State 592 yards. Today, 253 because of that Lobos defense. Matt Wells' team had scored at least 50 in 3 of their last 4 games, but just 13 on the scoreboard so far today. It'll be 2nd down and 12 following the Aggies timeout, 3:11 to go. Jordan will keep it himself. Once again, Vigil coming up to make the tackle. Nick Vigil, a big-time player, coming up in a clutch spot with back-to-back tackles. Utah State calls timeout. It's 3rd down. Time now for the DiGiorno play of the game. It looked like it was going to be Utah State football after this fumble by Wiggins, but Lobo's able to hang on to it. A huge play here in the 2nd half.
Initially, it sure looked like Centers in the bottom of that pile had his arms around that ball.
All right, Randy, what do you do here if you're the Lobos? Do you throw the football on 3rd and 12, or do you run it, make Utah State call its final timeout and kick it back to them?
You run it, you keep it inbounds, and you just keep it moving. Put it back in the lap of your defense. They've answered every other time today. I mean, you'd love to say, yeah, throw the ball, but they're just not a throwing team that's a legitimate threat. And even with Apodaca in there.
He is in on 3rd and 12. Apodaca 2 of 4 today for 7 yards and an interception. Let's see what he can do here on 3rd down and 12. Fires, incomplete, miscommunication with Hart, Johnson, and Utah State, because of that pass, does not have to use a timeout.
Yeah, they should. Matt Wells and company on the other sideline should say thank you for saving us the timeout.
Bob DeBest, the offensive coordinator, against the wall in the hat for New Mexico. They only took up 14 seconds on that possession. And now Rogers to punt it away to Rodriguez with 3 minutes to go.
He boomed the last one. Can he do it again?
Rodriguez, fair catch at the 36-yard line. So Utah State, can they overcome all of the miscues and unforced errors they've made today? They will have a chance.
Well, the fourth down at the goal line where they couldn't come through. Later on in the middle of the field, the other fourth down where New Mexico came out big. The ball that was stripped away from Rodriguez. The bad snap, that was not the bad snap, the bad handle. That was fumbled. That is not even counting the penalties that backed them up on the last possession.
But they still have a chance, trailing by 1, 2:54 to go. And one timeout for the Aggies. Myers incomplete, looking for Houston. Now keep this in mind. We mentioned this earlier, that we did not see Jake Thompson taking the kickoffs for the Aggies. Okay, well, that's not a big deal. They have Brock Warren do it. Well, Thompson's also their long field goal kicker. Warren's long is 41 yards, his career long. They usually use Thompson for longer range field goals. So that could come into play here if Utah State gets into field goal range.
That means you got to get at least to the 25 to get in the range.
2nd and 10. Myers feeling the heat, steps up, tripped up from behind. It was D'Avanzo getting a hand on Myers from behind, and it's 3rd down.
Another big play by D'Avanzo, coming off that defensive tackle rush and peeling back and tripping up the quarterback, because there was a lot of open spaces in front of the Utah State quarterback.
Time is ticking. 3rd and 5. Myers fires, and it's caught by Sharp. 1st down, Utah State into New Mexico territory, a gain of 14.
Now 21 yards away from a field goal type area.
2:10 to go. One timeout still for the Aggies to play with. Myers will keep it himself, and he gets out of bounds. Looked like he was about to cut it back inside, and instead thought better and goes out of bounds. There is Brock Warren, who is 8 for 8 on the season, but again, his long is 41 yards, and that came today.
The ball right now is on the 43-yard line. Whatever win there is will be with him at his back.
On 2nd and 7, Sharp with another catch and another Utah State 1st down. Hunter Sharp has been quiet. Last week, just 1 catch. Quiet for much of today, but he's come alive on this drive.
1:39 to go. About 5 to 6 yards away from the outside of the kicker's range.
Myers taking a deep shot for Harp in the end zone, and Sharp is not able to get there. It's incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
There's nothing wrong with this approach as far as throwing the ball. They're doing a very nice job of it, and it's stopping the clock.
On this drive, Myers responsible for 30 of the 35 yards so far. It's 2nd and 10, 1:32 to go. They go on the ground, and it's Hunt getting to the 26-yard line. Now, if you're New Mexico, do you start to think about timeouts?
Get a little closer, I think you do, once you get towards the 20, because you know, and they've got 3 left in their pocket that Bob Davie does.
New Mexico.
There's number 1.
Called their first time out of the half. 30 seconds.
So Bob Davie calls it with 1:10 to go. Massive implications in the Mountain Division with this game between Utah State and New Mexico. Aggies 4-1, but they beat Boise State. They control their own destiny. New Mexico 2-2, and with the rest of their schedule in front of them, they control their own destiny. Lobos finish at Boise State, Colorado State, and then Air Force.
And we're seeing this Utah State team getting good field position again and doing a nice job. 8 plays so far in this drive. With the ball on the 26-yard line, it would be a 43-yard field goal minimum.
8th play of the drive. It's 3rd down and 6.
Last thing you want here is a sack. Throw it away if they get close to you.
Myers will keep it himself. They play it safe, and they set up for the field goal with Brock Warren. Bob Davie will call his second timeout. So New Mexico
Also 30 seconds
will have 1 remaining, and now it's on Brock Warren. 8 for 8 this season, including 2 for 2 today on field goals.
I'll tell you again, the wind that's blowing is pretty much blowing towards our booth right here. So that, as you're standing on the field, will be from right to left. So any kind of draw or hook you put on a field goal, especially here, it's going to be out there from about 42, 43 yards. That wind will accentuate it. The incumbent upon Warren to drive this thing pretty well, which means it may be a little lower.
A 41-yard attempt for Warren to match his career long, which he said earlier today, and give Utah State the lead. Warren's kick is on the way, and it's no good! His first miss of the season.
Put it out there right the whole way. Never came back.
And Bob Davie is about to have the biggest win of his tenure at New Mexico. He's been looking for a signature win. He's about to get one here against Utah State.
Snap is right there. The place is right there. The ball is kicked and just driven right straight about 10, 15 feet right of the upright. Never had a chance.
Aggies have 1 timeout, but it won't matter. Bob Davie's defense held Utah State to just 78 yards rushing. That is a season low for the Aggies. You know, we spoke with Bob Davie yesterday, and he had a few reservations about taking this job in New Mexico. He was out of coaching for a while. Called Bill Snyder of Kansas State and said, "What do you think of the New Mexico job?" And Snyder told him, "That's a real tough spot to win." And you know, he called it the most unique rebuilding job in the country. Just what had happened here in the past. There's not a great foundation of high school football. So many challenges for football here at New Mexico. Davie welcomed the challenge, and he's rewarded today with his biggest win on the Lobos sideline.
And smart work by Bob Davie going to a guy like Bill Snyder, who had built that Kansas State program very much like this program in New Mexico, where, you know, they got to go to junior colleges. They've got to go different places to recruit. And that's how Bill Snyder built that program he had at Kansas State.
Defensive coordinator Kevin Cosgrove. Boy, did he earn a gold star today. A little emotional on that Lobos sideline after his defense played an incredible game. And they are going to be partying in Albuquerque tonight. Bob Davie with his biggest win as a Lobo. Fifth win of the year for New Mexico, the most they've had in 8 years, and an absolutely crushing defeat for Utah State. Warren missed the potential game-winning kick. It'll be a tough flight home to Logan as we update the Mountain West standings. And, well, there are now 2 teams who control their own destiny in the Mountain Division, Air Force and New Mexico.
Wow.
Now 3-2 in the division as we go down to Rashawn Ali.
All right, thank you so much, guys. Coach Davey, big win for you here tonight. What does this mean for your program?
I got to let it settle a little bit. It's big. And, you know, Utah State has been the model. You know, 2 years ago, they come in here and slapped us around like a bunch of gnats, and we just completely dominated us. Last year, we went up there and played a little bit better. It means a lot. It's our 5th win. You know, we have 3 games left. Just so proud of our defense, how hard they played, how resilient they were, and it's a big win for us.
It is. Talk us through that last field goal.
I don't know. You know, the wind was blowing. They put the ball in the middle of the field. Football God smiled on us. They smiled on us against Hawaii here a couple weeks ago. They missed the short one. They smiled on us again tonight. Maybe it's because there's been a lot of hard work put into this thing by a lot of good people, but we'll take it.
Well, you're one of those good people. Would you say this is the biggest win of your tenure here at New Mexico?
We beat New Mexico State 4 straight times, which is the biggest rival we have, but no doubt if somebody was looking for a signature win for us, this would have to be it.
Congratulations, Coach. Enjoy.
Thank you. Appreciate it very much.
Signature win indeed for Bob Davey and the Lobos. They go to 5-4 on the season, 3-2 in the Mountain West, and Utah State now 4-2 in conference play. But what a win here for New Mexico. For Randy Cross, Rashawn Ali, our entire CBS crew, I am Andrew Catalan, and we thank you for joining us on CBS Sports Network. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. New Mexico wins a thriller, 14-13. That'll do it from Albuquerque, but don't go anywhere. We're sending it to Brent Stover, Houston Nutt, Christian Fourier. They're in our New York studio with Inside College Football.